You should kindly request to refer the court to case number SCCC 37-2024. Your Worship, request to proceed placing appearance on record.
Thank you.
Your Worship, today the 1st day of November 2024, when this is a specialized commercial crimes court, Johannesburg, it is sitting at Pambridge Court number 10, case number SCCC 37-2024. Presiding officer, Mr. Fender, prosecutor, Mr. Mohachabe. There's no need for an interpreter, as both accused are English conversant. Appearing in respect of accused number 1, it is Mr. Small-Smith. In respect of accused 2, it is Mr. Majavu, Your Worship. Your Worship, the matter was remanded to today for the outcome of the DPP's decision, Your Worship, in respect of the representations made by both accused 1 and accused 2, Your Worship. Your Worship, the decision has been made by the DPP, and Your Worship will note that attached to today's appearances is the correspondence from the Deputy Director in Gauteng, Advocate Chauke, Your Worship, dated the 31st of October 2024. And the decision, Your Worship, is that the charges against both accused should then be withdrawn. As a result, the state is withdrawing the charges against both accused, Your Worship.
Mr. Small-Smith, anything to say?
I have nothing to add, Your Worship. Thank you.
Mr. Majavu?
Your Worship, just with the court's permission, I just need to do one collegial act. Your Worship would appreciate that on the previous occasions, I, on behalf of my client, lamented the delays and the resultant prejudice. And in fairness to my colleagues from the DPP's office, as well as Advocate Mohachabe, they kept their word in assuring us that a decision, one or the other, would be made on or by no later than today, I beg your pardon. And it is for that reason that I need to recognize that on record. It is the right thing to do. It's collegial. Even if the decision had not gone our way, I would have still made this submission in recognizing them, because at least we would be one step closer to setting a trial date. And other than that, Your Worship, we welcome the decision, and I think it's about time for my client to pick up the pieces and rebuild his life. I'm indebted to the court, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Majavu. Right, thank you, Mr. McKay and Mr. Kodwa. Charges withdrawn. You may stand down.
Thank you. May we be excused, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Small-Smith. Thank you, Mr. Majavu.
Everyone, I can confirm that this morning the charges against my client were withdrawn formally in court. This is after our representations were deemed successful by the Director of Public Prosecutions, which we welcome. And I think it's about time that I unleash my client so he can speak for himself. And I want to express my gratitude to him, because I had given him advice to keep quiet, painful as it was, and stay out of the media. And I gave you guys an undertaking that as soon as this matter is over, he will speak for himself. I'm his lawyer, I'm not his spokesperson. And I think now that we are here, I need to land my legal helicopter and say Zulu Oscar Lima Alpha, safe on the ground. I hand over to you, a free man. Mr. Kodwa, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Pick up the pieces and go forward.
Thank you.
It was a long journey, and thank you for entrusting me with your case.
No, thank you very much. Thanks very much, Mr. Majavu. We have a very close relationship. A lot of people do not know that he also can represent anybody in such criminal matters. When they first saw him, when we first appeared, they were like, why do you take a lawyer that arbitrates between Kaizer Chiefs and any other team? But I think he has proven to anybody, to yourselves, that very soon in our lifetime, I hope to see him as a senior counsel. But thank you very much. You really advised me correctly on many things. I do welcome this, the decision of the DPP. Of course, I welcome it with mixed feelings, as you know what happened in the past 3 months. I have no doubt that the DPP, to arrive at this decision, he applied his mind on facts before him, not on the basis of what sometimes we hear in a trial of public court of opinion. When we heard about this, the same day we appeared, we took a decision as a minister to resign. It was not an easy decision because there's no law that requires that if you are charged as a serving minister, you must resign. But I thought it would be inappropriate of a serving minister to have all these charges. Let me ask the president to release me and consider, and just to have time to deal with this matter. I subsequently and simultaneously, in line with the resolutions of the 55th Conference of the ANC, step aside from all activities of the African National Congress. And all this happened without any structures. I do both of these decisions voluntarily, and that was quite important. But also important was that we needed to uphold the principle of the rule of law, that we are equal before the law. Whether we are a minister, whether the crime it is alleged was committed in 2015, we are now in 2020, we are not a minister at that time. I was not in government, I could not influence anything at that time. I was just a mere spokesperson. In spite of all those reservations and observations, it was important that I affirm the principle that we are equal before the law, and I gave my full cooperation to law enforcement in this country, the Hawks, the NPA, and I'm sure in our first application when we appeared here, when we were doing a bill application, and my representative, Mr. Machavu, read it quite very clear how much we went a great extent to cooperate with the law enforcement. It's very important. We must say that as a leadership, so that there's no impression that there's preferential treatment of anybody. I was saying to somebody, coming here on the first day, I was put inside the Ox van, not because of my minister. I understood it, that anybody must go through that. And it's important to reaffirm those principles of equality, but nobody is above the law. But of course, there's history to this matter. I want to thank the millions of South Africans for the outpouring of love, of support and prayers. Each day, I had prayers from home, I had prayers everywhere. Little did I realize that so many people, millions of South Africans, appreciated the work we did over the past 10 months as a Minister of Sport. And that sentiment was much expressed by the worship, the Mayor of Cape Town, Gordon Hill, when he said to me, Mr. Kodwa, the very first days, I'm very sorry to see what you are going through, but I want to thank you for what you have done in the sport department in the 10 months in your office. That you have changed and used sport to make a contribution to national reconciliation, national unity in this country, and I really appreciate it. As you recall, we hosted a number of events, world-class events in Cape Town, at a great cooperation with the city. And that sentiment expressed by Gordon Lewis, the Mayor of Cape Town, is a sentiment expressed by millions of South Africans. Everywhere I go now, people express their support, their sympathy. As you know now, I will resume my responsibility in the African National Congress. I also do want to thank the leadership of the ANC, many post and current, who continue to express their support. They do so because in the African National Congress, we do not celebrate when one of us is going through difficulties and challenges. We show and give solidarity and support. Many of them called. The very first day I appeared, I got a visit from the leadership of the Youth League, as led by its president, as well as its Secretary General, Ngudle, as well as Malachi. Many calls that followed after that. They give you strength, because to be here you can feel lonely. You can only rely on your family, your wife, your children. We have been very strong pillar of my support. But one of the calls that gave me real strength was a call from the former president, Kgalema Motlanthe, who said in his own words, Mkhulu wasinawe. Because the ANC is a caring organization. When one of us is going through difficulties, we express that solidarity. And I do want to express my sincere gratitude to the leaders of the ANC. I do want to express my gratitude to many people of cloth who were praying in churches from holy mountains. Intaba Ezingcwele. Many of them continue to say in their prayers, Wenzeni uZizi. And one of them once said, this is not your war. God will fight for you. And that has been a guiding pillar for me. from this bishop that this is not your war, court will fight for you. And court has answered their prayers. So I'm really grateful that I'm now talking to you as a free man. I'm already resuming my responsibility. My first responsibility now is to make sure that I align myself with the activities of the ANC. I've already answered. Someone was asking, what now do you do? I'm in the job market, I'm available. I can be a journalist, I can apply to SABC, I can apply to anywhere. So I'm in the job market, as you know that I'm unemployed. Thank you very much. Thank you.